Hello, everyone, and welcome to In the Room with Artina Renee. Today, I have my special guest with me, Sean. Your last name? No, say it. Okay, Sean. Your first name? Your whole? No, I'm just kidding. Today, we have Sean in the room with us, and we are going to talk about healing. The title of the show today, is going to be Band-Aid over a wound. Right. So let's get started with In the Room. Hey, Sean, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Thank you for coming on the show.
Yeah.
Yep. So let's get started.
Okay. Well, let's see. I was watching your last show.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember what the title of was, and I was like, "Oh, I want to do that. I want to go in there.
Thank you.
Let me say, like, I want to go in there." And it's only because I've been on this healing journey now for a little while. I would say it's been a roller coaster. Like, it's literally like 1 minute I feel like, okay, all right, I got it. And then the next minute it's like, dang, why I feel like I'm getting pushed back?
Yeah.
And so that's actually had me to like really sit back and be like, why do I always feel like life, like you're in like this same like repeated cycle?
Oh, yeah.
And then that's when I was like, you know what, healing is not actually a one-way street.
Right.
And I think that's what gets a lot of us upset, and like we want to give up because we like, well, dang, I'm doing the work, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, so why do it feel like I'm not healed yet? And
Right.
I think that's when we have to realize that you're not just healing from one thing. Sometimes you got to make a U-turn.
Yeah, that's
because
so true.
you got to kind of backtrack, or you might have just forgot something, as you was going along, and so you needed to make that U-turn so then you can kind of, still see what it is that you need to face before going on to the next step.
Yes, and I will admit, a healing journey is not easy. I mean, because all of us have something different that we need to heal from. Some might need to heal from some type of trauma, some may need to heal from a divorce, some grief, and healing don't look the same for each individual.
Right.
And then sometimes, like you mentioned, we do have a setback.
Yep.
And it's like, what do we do in that setback? Like, it's like, okay, God, you done got me over this, now I'm back here again. So you mentioned your healing journey. You have been there for a year. Well, you have been on that healing journey for a year, right? I know I know that it's hard for some people, not all, to admit that they're wounded, that they need to be healed. So how did you know that you need to start being on your healing journey?
When I realized that I was giving the situation more power than it deserved. And also when I realized that I don't want to be in this state, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is not a good feeling. I want to be happy. I want to, I want to feel free. I want to actually be able to go on with life. And so I knew that in order to do that, I had to actually start to peel them Band-Aids off.
Yeah.
Because some of the wounds that I have, a Band-Aid can't heal. It can't help it. So I like literally had to sit back and like push myself away from a lot of things in order to be like, you know what, Lord, listen, I'm hurt. I can't do this by myself. I need help. Can you help me? I'm ready. Just tell me what it is that I need to do. I know everything ain't gonna feel good, but hey, I know I got you, so let's get to it.
Yeah.
And that's how it's been ever since. So I started by first taking care of my mental. Because when a lot of people think of healing, you think of like the physical or maybe even like emotional, but no one really talks about the mental health. Like,
right.
Your mental state is the most important, for real, because if you're not in a good headspace, you're not going to be able to get to where you're trying to get to, because you're always going to, I can speak for me. I can be my my own worst enemy.
All of us.
Like,
Yeah, all
like,
of us can.
because it'd be like, oh, I'm gonna do this, and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, no, well, what if that don't work out, or what if people gonna think when I
Doubt.
do this, and
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, like, what
Fear.
if I don't do it right, and you know, it's just like all these thoughts, and then you start to believe everything that you're thinking, and so it's like, and that took too. I had to change my mindset.
Yeah.
I had to be like, okay, I'm not where I want to be right now, but I'm gonna get there. So then just literally taking it step by step, day by day. Not saying that I don't get frustrated, because I mean, I'm human. So yes, of course I get frustrated, but I still can sit and be like, you know what? It's okay. I'm not where I'm at, but I'm not where I was either.
Right.
So that helps too. You have to be able to sit back and evaluate, like, okay, where were you a week ago? Where were you a few days ago? You know, and then once you start to see that, and then you can be like, okay, all right, well, I done made some progress. All right, let me keep going. So now I can actually see where it's going to lead me. And I think that's where, you know, we have to be able to encourage ourselves and not wait for other people to do it.
Yeah.
Because you know, I see all the time on social media, you know, I see people saying like, oh, I need you to be my peace. And, you know, I'm waiting on my person so they, you know, whoever can heal me. Only you and God can heal you.
That's so true.
Like,
Yeah.
so if you're waiting on somebody to come into your life to bring you peace, you're not going to have peace, because that peace is only going to be temporary anyways, because once that person is gone, then what do you have?
Right. Right. And you know, like you said, other people expect others. Some people expect others to be their peace, right? Mm-hmm. But like you had mentioned, only God and you can be that peace. You know, can't nobody else give you peace.
Nope.
Nobody can do that. And sometimes that peace may consist of isolation.
Yep.
Sometimes God may isolate you, you know, because when we need healing, nobody else is going through what we're going through, you know, and the only thing that other people can offer us is words of encouragement or prayer, or, you know what I mean? Like, but they don't know really what we're feeling inside when we need that healing,
Right.
you know, and like you had mentioned, mental, you know what I mean? The mindset that, because a lot of people don't know how to handle when they need to be healed. You know, some people want to give up. Like, I can't, you know what I mean? I can't go through this, and I want to, you know, some may want to terminate their life, or, you know what I'm saying? It's just, it's not easy for a lot of folks. So it is good that, you know, sometimes God isolate us, but to have that good support group with us that can help us get through, you know. And another thing that you had mentioned is sometimes we give that situation more power,
Yeah.
you know, than we need to. And that is so true. And, you know, I look at it like the title of the show. What do we say? Band-Aid over a wound, right? If you have a wound, like, let's say as a little kid you fall and you scrape your little knee or whatever, or your arm, you put a Band-Aid over it. If you keep that Band-Aid over, it's not going to heal.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's never going to heal. So you have to let it breathe and put some ointment on it, and, you know, or, you know, take care of that wound so it won't get infected.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so, I'm sorry, you can continue to
No,
talk.
go ahead. You got it.
No, I'm finished. Go ahead. Go ahead, Al.
But no, that's actually true though. And then when you think about, even when you think about Band-Aids, there's different sizes for a reason,
Yeah.
because one side can't fix all.
Yeah.
But the only size that can fix all is God.
Yeah.
And that's
so true.
who we have to actually go to, because, you know, it's good to have a village. Like, I'm thankful for my village.
Yeah.
You know, they always say it takes a village to raise a child, but adults need villages too.
We sure do.
Like, seriously. And I say that because there has been people who has not necessarily been through the exact same thing that we've been through, but they've been through things,
Similar.
right? And
Yep.
so it's good to be around people who has actually been through something, and who actually shares their story.
Yeah.
Who actually you can go to, like, you know, when you was feeling like this, how did you manage to keep going? Like, how did you manage to get out of that? Because that can be helpful too. Like,
Yeah.
and I think a lot of people feel like healing is like, okay, I'm gonna forgive this person, or this person apologized. Okay, so now I'm good. No, like
It don't work like that.
So much more than
Yeah.
that. It is a everyday thing because life goes on. So you're going to continue to go through things.
Right.
And you just got to figure out a way to be able to be like, okay, I went through this, and like you said before, you like, okay, God, I went through this, you got me through it, but now I'm back here. Well, okay, He got you through it. You back, He gonna get you through it again. So you gotta keep that same mindset. Like, okay, He got me through this the first time. Now let me go ahead and just put my gear on. Let's keep it going. And so too, I think too, a lot of the healing. I think a lot of people struggle when it comes to healing is because of childhood
trauma.
And even if you didn't necessarily have a bad childhood, because nothing, I mean, you could have been like, okay, nothing actually happened to me, but you witnessed something happen.
Right.
And, you know, a lot of us grew up in a household when your parents was like, what happens in this house stays in this house. Right?
I want to have a show on that too, because listen, hold that thought. But I want to do a podcast on what happens in this house stays in this house, because we in the room and we're talking about everything. So I want somebody to come on this show. You don't even have to come on the show. You could just call in, email me, and I'll give you my information when we're finished. But I want to talk about that. What was your childhood like when they said what happens in this house that stays in this house, and it kind of messed up your mind as a child? But go ahead, Sean. I'm so sorry.
And then a lot of it too, even with that, you know, our males, like especially as little boys, crying, you know, stop that crying.
Man up.
You know, yeah, man up. You don't cry. You ain't weak. You ain't, you know, you're not no punk. You're not no this. And so then we wonder why, when they grow up, we wonder why, they get in relationships and they don't show no type of emotions. They don't know how to love. They don't know how to show affection. And it's because when they were shut down.
Yeah.
So, you know, they grew up like, okay, well, let me not cry. I gotta hold everything in because I gotta man up. So I just basically gotta take the punches and deal with it. Versus, you know, you have the girls who, you know, they were able to cry and daddy and mom was like, oh, baby girl, what's wrong? You know, but the guys, you know, the boys, they didn't get that.
Yeah.
And so that's why I feel like a lot of our males struggle with healing too. Most of them probably don't even realize that they even need healing.
Yeah. Now that's true,
you know,
Sean.
they just like, this how I am.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This how I am. So they don't even realize that they actually need healing. But I can honestly say that healing, listen, for me, I feel like it's been the best journey that I've taken so far in my life. Even though it has not all felt good, but it's been necessary.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I've learned so much about myself, and it's been like, even have you sitting thinking like, well, why did I do that? Why am I doing this? What do I like to do? Because, you know, when you get people to ask you like, well, what do you like to do? You like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Let me think about that. Right? Or you say like certain stuff, and then it'd be like, well, do I really like doing that? So the healing journey for me has just been truly amazing. And I just like, now I just try to like encourage people, like, don't give up. It's gonna be hard, but do not give up, because that's what the enemy wants us to do anyways. You got your people in the corner. They just waiting on you to go ahead and get upset and set everything off. But no, like, keep going, because if you don't keep going, if you give up, you're never gonna know what the end's gonna actually be.
Yep.
And that's why I say, like, healing is not a one-way street. And I think once people start to look at it like that, I think that would help them a lot more. And then don't focus on how somebody else is. Like, well, dang, you know, we both went through the same thing, and they seem to be doing good, and I'm still, don't focus on them.
No.
Because they might seem good, but that don't mean they're not going through nothing.
No.
That don't mean they're not still healing.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's just that they're probably just, you know, did a few more steps than you did. So then just keep going.
And, you know, I remember one time we were going to a church function, and it was a retreat. Did you go to the retreat that year?
Nope.
That year was one of the most challenging years for me, right? And I just it was a woman's retreat. I forgot where we went, but it was like a weekend thing from like Friday until Sunday, and I needed it, right? So I said, okay, God, I'm going to put it in your hands. I had 3 little boys at the time. Now they grown, but anyways, 3 little boys at the time. And I just need to escape. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to shut my phone off. God, you bless me with them boys. My grandma got them. They in your hands, and the family going to take care of them. Right. You know what I mean? But here I am on this bus. And people will look at you and be like, oh, she got it all together. You know what I mean? Like, because she got her hair done and she's smiling and all of that stuff, and not knowing what you're really going through. Hold on. Excuse me. I don't have COVID. I just, it's hot in here.
It is.
But, and not knowing what you're really going through, though, right? So they just look at you and be like, she just got it all together. So I had somebody, you know, on this retreat where all of us should be getting healed, admitted that they didn't like me. Because I was so, you know, like smiling all the time, and I didn't look like what I was going through. You know, and that's one thing as women, you know what I mean? Sometimes we can look at another woman, not all of us, because I really don't do that, but excuse me. I hope we can edit this, but not know. This ain't it. But not knowing what that other person is going through, and because they got a smile on their face, you know what I mean? Like that woman, which I was that woman, may have just needed a hug at that time, because at that time I was going through so much. My kids was being bad. You know. Kids being bad in school. I'm getting phone calls every day. In the midst of that, you know, I was in the process of getting a divorce, you know, or no, we were separated at that time. But, you know, it was hurtful.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I didn't know really. I just needed something that was more powerful to me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And gosh. Baby, I ain't supposed to talk. No, just play. But I just needed something that was more powerful to me. You know what I mean? And I didn't know, because none of us know when we go through something, the path that God had for us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because at that moment, it was like, it was a sunny day, but it was like real gloomy to me. You know what I mean? And then it's like, okay, God, I want to see the sun. You know what I mean? Like, I'm tired of these gloomy days. Yeah. So I didn't know that God was allowing me to go through what I was going through at that time to help other people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So we just never know what God have in store for us. And, you know, sometimes we question, God, why did you allow me to go through this?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's hurtful.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's hurtful. And, but then, you know, God, when we rely on God, I know what helped me is reading my word, staying in church at the time. I think we was in church probably 4 or 5 days a week. That's probably why they don't go now. I birthed them out, but they got it in them. But, you know, going to church all the time because I needed that.
Yeah. You
know what I mean? And I needed to be around the right people.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't know. We just never know.
That's important too. Being around the right people is definitely important, because you have to, especially when you're in like the critical stage of the healing journey, you have to be careful on what you share with certain people.
That's so true.
And even though you may have had, you know, these certain people, they've been with you, you know, your whole entire life, and it's not saying that they're bad people, but they're just not equipped for the part that you're in right now in your journey. And so you have to be careful, because you can like share something with somebody, and if it's not the person that you're supposed to be sharing it with, they can actually do more harm than good. So
it's like that infection on that wound.
Yeah. So you
it's spread.
Exactly. So you have to most definitely be careful. With, you know, make sure that you're around the right people. Make sure you're, you know, around people who when you're you know, feeling whatever you're feeling, and you go to them and you're telling them, I'm feeling like this, I'm feeling like that, and they like, okay, yeah, your feelings are valid, and you might not be in a state to where you want to hear a prayer, or
Right.
you know, you want to hear scripture, or you want somebody to even like have some encouraging words, but they care for you enough to even still share it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna let you have your moment.
Yeah.
But okay, now I'm gonna
Yeah.
tell you, you know, X, Y, and Z,
Yeah.
and who don't actually judge you for feeling
Yeah.
how you feeling, because there is a lot of people that's like that. They'll try to make you feel, oh, well, you shouldn't feel like this because you're blessed. Oh, you know, you're here, and there's some people that's not here. No,
I feel
just
like
because
that.
I'm angry don't
Right.
mean I don't know that I'm blessed.
Yeah.
Just because, you know, I'm sad doesn't mean that I'm not grateful. You know what I mean? But this is just how I'm feeling right now,
Yeah.
and that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's most definitely the right people. Definitely is very, very, very important. And you just, like I said, you just have to be careful of everything, and we have to stop looking for validation through other people,
I had to learn that.
because
had to learn that.
it's like we're waiting for
Yep.
permission to heal, or we're waiting on permission to just do anything, and it's like,
And God already gave it to us.
who said you needed their approval
Yep.
for anything? If this
Yep.
is what you want, if this is what you know that, you know, this is what you were called to do, or this is what
Yeah.
you were placed on earth to do, then what makes you think that it's going to take somebody else to give you permission or approval for you to actually do it?
And I had to learn that. You know, it's a lot of things that God had given me. And I know that I was afraid. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, oh my God, what is people going to say? You know, like, I don't like public speaking, really.
Me either.
You know? So it's like, okay, God, why did you call me to do a podcast? Or, you know, but I would have visions and dreams about me standing up in front of people and just speaking.
Yeah.
You know, it haven't happened yet, you know, but I know if God gave it to me, it's going to come. You know what I mean? But yes, I look for validation in man. And that is something that we have to stop doing, is looking for man to validate us when God had already gave it to us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now, let me ask you something. In that healing, in your healing process, right, do you journal?
I do.
You do?
I don't. So it took me a minute to actually start to journal while in this healing process that I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
And that was only because even though I knew that I needed to heal from, you know, so much,
Yeah.
I felt like writing it down, so when I journal, it's a way for me to allow my mind to just explore, and I just write. You know, ain't nothing perfect. If something's spelled wrong, or
It's between you know what you wrote.
Yeah, it's just going. And so for me, in that moment when I wasn't journaling, it was because it was like, I want to face this, but I don't want to face it. Mm-hmm. Nope, that hurt too much. So I would even start writing, then I'd be like, no,
Mm-hmm.
nope. But now, so now I can actually like write and be like, okay, all right. So, and now I'm like, okay, so this is how I'm feeling. All right, so what we gonna do about this? What we gonna start with first? Because I always wanted everything just done. I always felt like I had to be the only one to figure it out, and it's like, you don't have to do everything by yourself. Because even it's crazy, because I can tell people like, oh, it's okay to ask for help, but I hate asking for help.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And so then when I do ask for help, I'd be like, oh, I cannot believe, I do not want to ask. But it'd be like, okay, you know what? It's okay.
Yeah.
It's all right. It's all right to ask for help. You tell people all the time it's okay to ask for help. So why do you think it's not okay for you to ask for help? And so, yeah, journaling for me, it'd be a hit or miss. Sometimes I can do it, and sometimes I'd be like, not right now.
Yeah, and you know what? Sometimes, too, I know for myself, because I have a lot of journals from a lot of years, right? It was hard for me to go back and read what I have written at that time, because it was like hurtful.
Yeah.
You know, going back and just reading my journal, I'm like, oh my God, like I went through that. You know what I'm saying? And just going back to that place and how I felt at that moment. But then you think about what God done brought you through.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, oh, I went through that, but look at God. You know what I mean? But God. Have God placed in your spirit that a book?
You know, it's funny you say that because yes, but I have I've been going back and forth about it. I even been provided the resources to even start, to even take the classes, all that, and I would be like, yeah, I'm gonna do it, and I'll be like, no, maybe I should wait. You know, it's just like it'd be like all these things going back and forth, back and forth. So as of right now, I just every time something comes to mind, I just write it down. So lately it was I was writing, and I was just thinking about a lot of things. Looking at my actual scars that I have. In the beginning, I looked at them as ugly, like these are gross. Ain't nobody going, you know what I'm saying? Don't nobody want to see this. You know, I always felt like I just needed to cover it up. But then it was the whole mindset again, looking at it differently. Like, oh, these are battle scars. These prove that you know what I'm saying. You is God's toughest soldier, and hey, you here, you done made it. And so I started this hashtag is real soldiers have wounds and scars. And not saying that if you know, because not saying that if you don't have visible scars that you're not a real soldier, right, but it's just, you know what I'm saying, it was just like
scarred in your mind.
That's how I had to look at it though. Like, but even though I'd be like, God, can you get somebody else to do it? Right. Because I'd be tired.
Like, this is a lot, okay?
But yeah, so as far as the book, I'm not really as sure as what it's going to look like. I know my title was Healing is Not a One-Way Street.
Okay.
And just so basically, I want the book to be more of like a survival guide. Because even if a person has not been exactly through what I've actually been through, you know what I'm saying? I just feel like if I can share the tools that was given to me to help me to be where I'm at right now, then I know for sure that those tools can also help somebody else. Or at least, you know, somebody's reading it, they can actually share those tools with somebody they know that's actually going through. So, because recently I reached out to a mom who her son was shot, and he had to learn how to walk and everything again. And I just remember watching the video that she had made. And so I had reached out to her, basically, you know, to ask how he was doing. And she was like, oh, you know, he's recovering okay. She was like, but, you know, it's been rough. It's been rough for him. It's been rough for all of us. And so I just started talking to her. Just started, like, basically just kind of giving her, like, some advice. Like, you know, be patient. Be patient with him. And just kind of trying to give her a little bit of what to expect, even though everybody, like you said, everybody is different. But I was just, you know, just trying to give her, like, some encouragement, like, and telling her, like, hey, I was the same way 2 years ago. I couldn't walk. I couldn't do anything. I was being changed like I was a baby, you know, all that. And she was like, really? Like, you know, she was just like, so, like, what? Like, for real? And I was like, just sharing, like, a little bit of my story with her. And she was just like, thank you so much. She was like, because I'm not sure, you know, what's going to actually happen. But I just felt like if I, you know, just sharing my story just can kind of give somebody, like, a little bit of hope. You know what I mean? Like, okay, she been through it too. Now look where she at. The doctor said the same thing to me. Oh, she ain't going to walk. Oh, you know, and they still saying, like, oh, you know, you got a risk of losing your leg. And I'm like, okay, but I ain't about to sit down.
Right.
No, I got so much work to do.
Yeah.
You know, and then too, it's like, you know, I've had people ask me, like, well, how have you managed to adjust? And I'm like, I'm still adjusting. Yeah. I'm still adjusting.
Because it don't have a time frame.
It doesn't.
No.
You know, it doesn't. And I still have my moments, you know, when I get angry. But then it's like, okay, nope. You're not in that space no more. And that's another thing, too. When we have those flashbacks of things that have happened, it's so easy to get back into that space.
Right.
But you have to be able to be aware that you're not there anymore. Yeah. And you have to be aware of what your reality is. Like, oh, I'm not in that space no more, so it's okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I'm still healing, but it's okay. Because you're going to be healing for the rest of your life.
Right.
Because it's life. You know, God said we're gonna have, you know, we're gonna go through things. And it was crazy because on my way here, I was thinking about like healing. Like, why do it always seem like we always gotta heal from something, or why do it take so long? But then I thought about it. I feel like God is still on the healing journey too. And I say that because as his children, we're not doing what he wants us to do. So we're hurting him daily.
Yeah.
So each day he's like, you know what I mean? Like he's feeling like, dang, like why they don't love me? Like why they not coming to me? Why are they going to, you know, this person and that person? Why are they depending on the government to save their lives? Like,
right.
No, hello, I'm the one. You know?
That
and
is
so
true,
I was thinking about that, like, oh, well, that makes sense. So why wouldn't we be the ones to continue to go through things?
That is so true that you say that, because like you said, he's still healing.
Yeah.
Every day, one of us do something that's just like them, the whoopings that he got, the lashes and stuff, you know what I mean? And just, and I'm quite sure he'd be like, why my children don't get it?
Yeah.
You know, I did all of this for them, you know, but I believe too that, you know, like each and every person healing journey is not for us.
Yeah.
You know, God get us through it to help somebody else.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And that's the way that I had to look at it. When I was going through my healing journey, you know, being a single mother, 3 kids, going through a divorce. Hold on, let me back this up. Not only 3 kids, but 3 boys. All right? Shoot. So what, it was like 6, 4, 2. They was bad.
God has a sense of humor.
He really does. Like, but you know, I look back because I'm like, I at least wanted one girl. You know what I mean? But I look back at it and I'm like, thank you, God, because my boys are respectful. You know what I mean? Like, you know, they're like us. We trying to find our way through life. You know what I mean? But at the time, I didn't see that. You know, oh my God, their dad's not really doing nothing for them. Like, this is what's going on. Right. You know, I have had so many nights to where I had cried because it had been moments where we didn't have food. For real. I'm not saying that I couldn't go to my family, like my grandma, because grandmothers, I don't know what it is about a grandma, but she always got something in that cabinet. When she says she don't have enough food, I don't know how she ended up making a pound cake or just anything that they made when they didn't have no food was the best food. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But, and I just remember crying to God, you know, crying out to God, God, when am I going to get my breakthrough? You know what I mean? And just being a single mom, God, where is my help? Right. You know, and all along, God was my help. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? God was like, Artina, I'm going to get you through this so you can help my other daughters along the way. Because it's a lot of women that's single mothers and single fathers too, you know, that be ready to give up. You know, so even your story, Sean, if it just touched one person, you done did what God wanted you to do. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because that one person can touch somebody else. And it just keeps spreading. Right. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, now I look back and I'll be like, thank you, God. Because he is just so awesome. He is. You know what I mean? Like, moments where we didn't see, it didn't look like we were going to make it. You know what I mean? And God, like, just keep going. Just keep fighting. And you be like, God, I can't. I'm tired. You know what I mean? Give this to somebody else. I'm tired. I'm tired now. Yeah, give this to somebody else. And he's like, no, I got you. Just keep going. And while you're going, I'm going to put the right people in your path that's going to help you. You know what I'm saying? That book that God wants you to write. Yeah. Because you got a story to tell. You know what I'm saying? So that book that God wants you to write, he going to put people in your path that's going to help you along the way and do, you know, what needs to be done to get it out there. You know, so I don't know. That's just so go ahead and you finish talking. Sorry.
But no, that's true. I mean, he does. he already worked it out, and that's been another thing that has helped me too. It's like, okay, you know that your life was written before you was born. Yep. So keeping that reminder, it's like, okay, you going through this, but he not already worked it out, so you just got to keep going. Just keep going. Just keep going. Stay focused. Listen. Don't do nothing to mess it up.
Yeah.
Just keep going. Like, because
It's
we
like,
mess
God,
it.
what am I going to get to the finish line? Not death or nothing, but just
Right.
get me to the finish line so I can just...
Can I sit down and put my feet up?
Yes.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Can I have a drink? Can I chill? Can I
Right.
chill for a minute? Like, I'm tired.
Right.
Can I get a break?
Yep.
I need a vacation. I need something because I'm tired.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but you know, you like, okay, all right. All right, that's why you gotta be careful what you ask for.
You sure
when
do.
you say, Lord, I want to be used by you. Lord, I want to do what you want me to do. You
better ask God
Listen,
to prepare you. Prepare you.
'cause It is not
Get you
for the
ready.
weak.
It's not.
It's definitely is not for the weak.
Mm-mm.
But it's necessary. It's all necessary. And like you said, you know, when we go through stuff, it's to help other people. But it's also to help us because I can honestly say that, you know, even though I love God and I believe in God, but, you know, I've had my times when I had my doubts. Like,
Yeah.
Lord, you know, are you really real? Are you? You know what I'm saying? And so, like, sometimes he have to put us through some challenges so we can so he can reveal himself to us, so we can see, like, oh, okay, you actually, okay, all right, you real, you got it. And sometimes, like you said, with the isolation, that's necessary too, and that is very necessary in the healing process. But you have to be aware that there's going to be a lot of people that's going to take your isolation personal.
Are you depressed?
And not even that. When you isolate yourself, because I know, like, for me, I had to, because I needed God to fix my situation.
Yeah.
I didn't want nothing or nobody to get in that way. I didn't want myself to get in the way. So I had to isolate myself because I needed to know that what I was doing or what I was hearing was actually from God and not from other people.
Yeah.
That's the only person I wanted in my ear. But you'll have those people that's like, well,
you acting funny.
did I do something?
Yeah.
Right. Oh, she acting funny, or is she mad at me?
Like,
You know what I'm saying? Like, what did I do? Why is she? No, this is about me. It's not about you. I had to. It's necessary to pull back so you can evaluate, so you can reflect, so you know what I'm saying, you can actually be able to be like, okay, what do I need to do? Lord, okay, show me.
And know what voice to hear, because a lot of people have their own opinion on how they feel like a certain situation should go or what you should do.
Yep.
You know, so in that isolation, you just, you know, I'm not saying that the enemy don't try to come in too in that isolation, like, girl, you ain't about to make it, you know what I mean?
Right.
Or you need to do X, Y, and Z. But if you know God's voice, you know what I'm saying? And how do you know his voice is his word.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, what does the word of God say? You know, and just trying to keep your faith in that isolation. But you're right. People will start thinking like, oh, she's being funny, or, you know what I mean? Or, I know for me, when I was going through my isolation, and I hope my nails is not showing on here because I got to get them done. But, it's been a long week. But I know that when I was going through my isolation, I was at home, and listen, it was hot outside. And it was like one of the best moments though, right? I would just have my air conditioner. The boys was in camp the whole summer. That was the bomb. Like, it was so bomb. They was going to camp from like 8 until 2, you know, and I would just be at home. I actually had gotten fired from my job. And anybody that don't have faith, you getting fired, and you got all these bills to take care of, you know what I'm saying? And you the only one that's maintaining this household, you would lose your mind.
Yeah.
Right? And that's what other people would expect, like, oh, she about to go crazy over there.
Right.
You know? I wasn't. I'm like, this is God giving me time off, because I ain't want to really work like that anyway. And the job was like, you know, so I took that time and I spent it with God. Like, I was at home while the boys was in camp. I didn't waste my time. I was just praying at home. You know, I had my air conditioner going, because at the time I didn't have central air. I just had an air conditioner, so I could only stay in one room, right? And I had my waterfall going, and I was just journaling, just talking to God. And then eventually I started typing. I didn't know where that was going. You know, I just started typing, and I remember my grandmother just coming over. Are you okay? I'm like, yes, Grandma. I've been calling you because I ain't even answer my phone for nobody. You know, I've been calling you. I'm like, I'm okay. Are you depressed? No. You know what I mean? And I had to tell my grandma, like, this is me and God's time.
Yeah.
God is working on me. You know, I don't know what he's doing, but he's doing something, you know, and that was the first time that I have ever fast. You know, I went on a 7-day fast, and I was just eating fruits and vegetables. I need to do it again, you know.
But see, that's what helps you to be able to smile even through your storm.
Yeah.
You know, that's why people like, you don't look like what you've been through.
Right.
Of course.
Right.
Because when you take that time to be with God and to just be in his presence, and that's exactly what I have been able to do. Like, even though so like back in June, I had to have surgery. I had 3 surgeries because I had blood clots in my leg, and so that meant, of course, I couldn't work. That meant I was literally on bed rest, like couldn't do nothing, right? And I remember I was like so frustrated because it's like, oh, here I am back at square one. Like, Lord, you know I'm trying. I was just finally, you know, getting back on my feet. Why am I getting pushed back? But then I remember how, you know, when you just sitting there and it's just you and you just quiet and it's just like, okay, Lord, what's the message in this?
Right.
What do I supposed to be learning? What do I supposed to be doing? And so every day, that's what I do. I just be like, I wake up and I be like, all right, Lord, it's me and you today. What we doing?
That right.
You know, what?
Not my will, but your will.
Right. Show me what I'm doing. And so, you know, there are times where I am just in the house.
Yeah.
You know, and some days, you know, it's like, dang, I cannot believe I got to be careful what I do. I can't do this. I can't do that. And when the doctors was like 30 days to be off work, I'm like, 30 days?
In the summertime?
Who go? It's hot girl summer. Ain't nobody.
I'm outside.
Ain't nobody. Right. Like, I ain't been on this healing journey to be sitting down for 30 days now. Hold on. But no, seriously, it has been, because, you know, it has really been something. Like, I've had people like, are you okay? You just seem so calm. Like, even my therapist, she was like, you're like calm. She's like, I'm a little concerned. She's like, because I've never seen you this calm. And I'm just like, because I realize there's some things I have control over and there's some things that I don't. Right. And so literally, it's like, you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, next day, next hour. So it's just like, God got it, and I just try to, you know, continue to do my part and keep going. And that's what has been helping me, because it's like, when you finally get that peace, you do whatever it takes to keep it.
Because you want to stay there. You want to stay.
It's the best feeling ever to wake up and not feel like you're carrying the whole world on your shoulders. Because that's not what we're supposed to be doing. That's not our job. Nope. You know, our job is to drop our burdens, not to carry them.
So give it to me.
So you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's been the best. Like, so I just want to just encourage people, like, you know, if you feeling like you know, don't have a way out, you feel like things are not getting better, you just feel like everything is just falling apart, just know, like, you're not by yourself. Right. You're not by yourself. And it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to reach out. It's okay to feel how you feel. If you feel angry, if you feel like screaming, crying all at once, do it. Allow yourself to go through the emotions, because that is part of the healing process as well. You have to allow yourself to go through the emotions. So that means if you feel like crying for an hour, baby, cry for an hour.
But let me tell you something. You better be ready. Because I remember when I was going through my journey, right? One morning, I was about to get ready to go to work. And so I'm like, I just felt like the devil just kept on bothering me, right? So I'm in the bathroom, and I'm looking in the mirror, and I'm calling him out, right? Next thing I know, I started fighting the air, right? But I really, like, I was punching. I was doing moves that I ain't even know, like a combat type person, right? So, and after I finished, I'm like, if somebody was to have seen me, they probably would have thought I was crazy. But this was
would have been calling people on you.
Yes, like she crazy.
We got a psych patient here.
Yes. But listen, so I'm up here, I'm getting in there, I'm just letting them have it, right? And I'm like, you can't, like, basically, I'm tired of you messing with me, and I'm just going in, right? So I finished, and I was so wore out. Like, I was really in a fight, right? Had to be at work at 9 o'clock in the morning. Get to work. I went to work, and I was working out. A lot of people don't know, Centerville is a suburb here in the area. And I'm working out in Centerville, right? And so I go into my job, and I had to go out probably within 15, 20 minutes after I had went in to go get some paperwork out my car. No lie. I went to go get the paperwork out my car, and my back window was busted out. I'm like, how did this happen? I didn't see nobody go by. I don't know how that happened at all. My back window was shattered.
Wow.
Right? So I called, I want to say Safe Light. And they came and they picked up my car. And I want to say they fixed my window that day. Right? All right. And I went to go pick up my car later on that day. The next day, I'm driving on the highway, and a rock had, like, I guess, flew off of a truck or something, cracked my goddamn windshield.
Oh, my goodness.
Right. And I'm like, oh, my God. So I had to take my car back to the same place. And I remember they said, somebody at Safe Light was like, man, you just having all types of bad luck. And I'm like, you know what? No, I'm not. This is God. You know what I mean? Because God is trying to see, how was I going to handle these situations? You know what I mean? And he paid for it. I didn't have to pay for a window. You know what I mean?
Right.
I probably had like a $50 deductible or something, but I didn't have to pay for it.
Right.
And it was to the point to where the windshield, because they could have charged me for it. They was like, you know what? I'm not even going to charge you for it. All I got to do is just stick some type of glue in it. He was like, but as the weather get colder or something, it could crack it. I said, we'll deal with that later.
Right.
You know what I mean? But when you ask God for something, ask God to prepare you, equip you with what you need to handle a situation or whatever it is that you praying for and you asking God for. Right. You know what I mean? Because listen, when I tell you, I'm just like, oh my God, my windshield really, like, where did this come from? I'm in this is a good area, right. I thought, in here. But anyways, so yeah, it's just, I don't know. But God is just awesome. I mean, I just can't. And just to be in his presence, you know what I mean? And you don't even look like what you've been through. I don't even know all you've been through, but just to hear bits and pieces of your story about the surgery and what the doctors are saying and everything, and for you to be sitting up here and you don't look like it, you know what I mean? Yeah. And to say that you put it all in God's hands because he's in control, not you. Yeah. Anything else you want to share?
I mean, this has really been, I was like, I don't know how this conversation is going to go, but we just went with the flow.
We went with the flow, yeah.
But listen, it definitely has been good. And I just really hope that, it helps somebody. And, I just, like I said, we just want to keep encouraging people just to keep going. Right. Keep going. Don't give up.
Because it's easy to give up.
It is. Don't take the easy way out.
Right, don't.
And you might feel like, okay, if I'm just going to sit here, I ain't got to deal with it. No, you got to deal with it, because even if you feel like you pushed it back and, okay, things are good now, it's going to eventually come back up.
It sure will.
It's going to take one person to say something
that you put over it.
Look at you. Yeah. You going to watch it. You know how you have like the little paper cut, but you can't see it because you think it's healed, and you put that hand sanitizer on.
Yes.
And you feel like your soul done jumped out your body.
Yes, those are the worst cuts.
Yeah. Like, so it's like, no, deal with it. If you deal with it. And like I said, the right people, ask God to ordain those people that are meant to help walk you in this journey. They can't do the work for you.
Nope.
But at least they can be there to continue to pray with and for you and push, give you that push that you need. Because sometimes we, when we're so caught up in our feelings, we don't care. You getting that, I don't care, whatever, blah, 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 right? But you need that one person that's like,
yeah.
Like you leaning. I need you to get on back straight. Go now. So yeah, that's all really that I have. Like, let's get healing. It's okay to heal. It's okay to not be okay.
It's okay to cry. It's okay to punch the air. It's okay to yell and scream.
Talk it out.
Just be ready for what's gonna come.
Yeah.
But
and talk it out.
Yeah.
If you didn't call 5 people, and those 5 people has not answered the phone, you like, dang, I just need to talk to somebody.
Get on Facebook. That's what people do. No, I'm just saying.
No, but seriously, it's like talk it out, because God is always listening.
Yeah.
And you'll find that will actually help you more than actually talking to an actual person.
That's so true.
Because it ain't it's nothing like getting that warm comfort hug from God. Like it's literally like no other. Like nobody can actually, nobody can compare to that. Like
just to
nobody
be in his
at
presence,
all.
and you can feel it. Like
it's like I'm all jacked up, messed up. I'm sitting up here cussing people out. I didn't cuss at you, but you still listening. Like you still like, okay, I'm here when you're ready.
Yeah.
So,
and it's okay, through your healing, to have a confrontation with God.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's okay, because that's what he wants, us to come to him and talk to him. Lay it all out. Tell him how you feel. And he'll definitely give you your answer, either through something.
Yeah.
He will speak to you. Yeah. I mean, because he's just the bomb like that, and just that comfort that he gives, I don't know. I just be amazed at all that he could do.
Yeah.
Because while he's at my household, answering my prayers, he's at your household. You know what I mean? Answering your prayers. And not only is he at our households, he's at, other people's households. Like, He just, like, how can he do that? You know what I mean?
Because he's a Band-Aid. Everybody it's Band-Aids all over the world.
Yeah.
Everybody around the country can go and get a Band-Aid.
Yeah.
But he's that Band-Aid that we actually need.
Or the ointment.
That too.
Okay. The Band-Aid and the ointment. The Band-Aid with the ointment in it. Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean,
he's everything.
He really is. So we can't, the Band-Aid and the ointment, he in the scars. You know what I mean? Because he allowed us to go through it. You know what I'm saying? And he's getting us through it. And just.
And when for me in my healing journey, when I sit and think about a lot of things, I think about Job. And that's literally my favorite book in the Bible to read. And that's only because it's so easy to get angry at God when you're going through, and you like, especially when you like the enemy can't touch you unless he give you permission. And it's like, well, why would you do that? Why would you give him permission? Like, if I'm doing what you want me to do, or whatever, if I'm not out here just doing what the world is doing, it's like, why would you allow him to do that?
Yeah.
But then it's like, when I think about Job, he like, no, I know he believed, like, no,
he kept his faith.
He gonna bring me out. He loved me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, nah.
Lost everything.
Yeah.
His wife,
everything, but then got so much more back because he kept going, because he kept believing, because even though when people was doubting God and wanting him to, he like, no.
Yep.
I'm not. And so that is one thing that I've read. It's like, okay, God, he allows you to go through things. He allows you to, be hurt, broken, but he still heals you.
Yeah, he does.
He fixed you right back up. You know what I'm saying? But you have to be willing to get up. We can't just wait on him to get us up. We have to be able to get up. We got to meet him somewhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so that's one thing that has helped me in my healing journey, is like thinking about that, like, man, Job, he lost everything. He went through, you know what I'm saying? He went through all this.
And he didn't give up.
Then at the end, he got to enjoy that peace, that happiness, the victory, you know what I mean? And it's just like, wow. And it was always because he was focused on that. He knew that what he was going through was temporary.
Yeah.
Like, he knew it. And so that's something that we have to think about too. Is like, the song came on when I was actually listening, coming here, was Trouble Don't Last Always. And I was like, wow. Lord, thank you for the reminder, because you have your moments where I know I have my moments when I'm just sitting there like, I just here I am by myself.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I feel like everybody out here enjoying life, and I'm just sitting here trying to figure out what I gotta, you know what I'm saying? What I gotta do to get there. And then it was like, oh, well, this is just temporary. You know, it's always like, it's all right.
And even when you talk about Job, the Job experience, because you know how sometimes we could be in church and stuff, and when something that other people consider bad happens to us, they be like, oh, she must have done did something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Job's friends, they was like, you know, you must done curse God, you know, and they was like, you know what I'm saying?
You must not be praying. You must not be reading your word.
You must be doing something out here sinning and stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But Job did not. You know what I mean? Job kept his faith. He didn't cuss people out. Even his wife left him. You know what I'm saying? But that goes to show too that everybody cannot go where God has taken us.
Yep.
You know, some people that we are attached to, they can't go where God has taken us.
Mm-mm.
You know what I mean?
And that's okay.
Yeah.
And it's like I had said before, it's not because, you know, they don't care about you, they don't love you, or they're about, you know, whatever. It's just everybody is not meant for every season.
Yeah.
That's why there's different seasons, because everybody's not meant for it. I mean, think about the bugs. They're not out when it's cold, and when they are out, we like, what they, you know, what they doing out?
Girl, listen, I got so many flies that done came in my house. It's like, where they coming from? You know, but yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, it's just like, you know, people, everybody's not equipped for the season that you're in. And that's okay, because you're not equipped for the season that everybody is in. Mm-hmm. And I feel like I'm not equipped for the season that I'm in. So, you know, it's just, you know, it just, I don't know, you have to just figure out what works for you. Mm-hmm. And we have to stop focusing on other people. And we have to stop judging. That's what we have to stop judging. And we have to share our stories. You know, I don't like when, you know, you have those people, they just act, you know, so holy, and, you know, every day is a good day. And it's like, you ain't about to sit up here and act like you don't go through nothing.
Right.
And then when they see somebody going through something, like they hear somebody getting a divorce, or they hearing of, you know, somebody losing their job, or, you know what I'm saying, whatever the case might be. And it's like, they like, you know, like, you heard such lost their job, or you like, what? They get a divorce. What she do, or what he do? You know, it's like, and then when a person comes to you and they ask you, because they know that you have been through what they've been through, and then you try to be like, act like you don't know what to do when they ask you, like, what should I do? And you're like, oh, girl, I don't know.
Right.
And it's like, what? Brooke, you just gonna keep it to yourself? Yeah. No, you went through it because you're meant to share it. You're meant to help others. And so we have to find
Some people are so secretive, though. Yeah. You know, and they are, some people want others to think that they have that perfect life. You know what I mean?
And it's like, no, you don't.
I remember when I was going through everything that I was going through. Remember I told you about me losing my job? And I felt like God was just telling me to be still, you know, and focus on Him. We didn't miss a beat. God provided. You know what I'm saying? I mean, even though it was moments where I used to be like, God, okay, can you send us some manna? You know, this cabinet's looking a little dry. This refrigerator.
Right. Can you drop some down?
Yeah, can you drop some? And honestly, I would check my food stamp card, and they just loaded some stamps on there. You know what I mean? Just out the blue. You know, or sometimes even a child support card. I haven't received child support in about 2 years, and got like, check the card. Wow. You know what I'm saying? We got food. You know, just being able to provide. But I remember talking to an older lady that was in the church, right? And she like, and I'm telling her, you know, my story and everything. So what you gonna do about a job? I said, God told me to be still. She was like, oh no. If you don't work, you don't eat. True. But sometimes we gotta if God told you to sit down and be still, you have to put your faith and trust in God. So I'm working. Because I'm in His Word, you know what I mean, night and day. It was to the point where I had the Bible sleeping, because I ain't had no man. The only thing I had in my bed was me, my Bible, my journal, my pen, and my highlighter. That's the only thing I had in my bed, you know, and God provided. Like we didn't lose anything.
Yeah.
And to be a single mother, and I hope this encourages somebody. I hope this whole podcast encourages somebody.
Yeah.
Being a single mother and only grossing for 3 years, $12,500, and still my car didn't get repoed. We didn't get evicted out of our household. You know, we still had food. You know, the boys was, you know, they was kept and everything.
Right.
That was all God. And I feel like now today, looking back, because when I felt like it was a journey, when I felt like it was a burden, or not a burden, but you know, it was real heavy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Looking back, I'm like, thank you, God,
Yeah.
from getting me through that, because look where I am today.
Right.
And it's gonna help other women. It's gonna help young girls, single mothers. You know what I mean? Women that don't have any children. Like, you can do it.
Yeah.
God is gonna get you through it. If you want to go back to school, being a single mother, single father, go back to school.
Yeah.
Get
Even
that
if you're
degree.
taking one class at a time.
Yeah.
If that's what you want to do it.
Yeah.
But do it for you. Don't do it for others.
Right.
And that's what the whole, you know, healing journey within itself. Do it for you. Don't do it for others. Because if you're trying to heal for others, so then others can, you know, you feel like, okay, well, if I'm put together, if I look put together, then they, you know, they gonna want me around. They gonna invite me some places. You know, people gonna talk to you. People gonna treat you how they treat you, regardless.
Yeah, they are, and they gonna talk about you. If they, well, it is.
You can do everything they put on a list for you to do, and they still gonna have an issue with you. So yeah, definitely do it for you. Take one class at a time.
Just do it.
Listen,
get up, do it, and you know what? We sitting up here talking. I did not know that it was over an hour, but we good.
Okay.
No, but I want to thank you, Sean, for coming on the show today and sharing your story, your journey, and talking about healing. And once you get that book up and published, you can come back on and just talk more.
Yeah.
You know, and anybody that's watching the podcast, if you would like to be a guest on the show, contact me. You can send me an email. It's wait, what is it? What is it? Okay, in the room with Artina Renee at gmail.com. And thank you so much for watching us, and I hope you were blessed by the story. And till we meet again.
And put, you know, if y'all watching this, put your comments, questions, anything, like, you know, anything about how you felt, what you got from the actual broadcast, what you feel like needs to actually be covered the next time. Comment.
Yep.
Let us know.
Let us know. Thank you.
Bye, guys.
See you later.